All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the script workshop. We're going to be showing you a little bit about how me and Shane work with scripts, what they do more at KLMU, what a script there will look more like a professional script, and basically we're going to go through what we think are the best ways to sort of prepare a script for a show, so you're ready to go when you're in front of the camera, and sort of the best ways to go about that when you're creating scripts for others as well. So I'm Jack McGrath, your technical director, and Shane Palma is with me, sports director over at MUTV 23.
Yes, I
So,
am here too. Jack obviously is going to take the lead on this one, so I'll let him have the reins.
all right. So when writing a script, I'm going to go through how they sort of do it at KLMU first. So at KLMU, for the most part, what you're going to do when writing a script is when you're doing this for the sports department, me and Shane saw this a little bit when we did Friday Night Fever last year. What you're going to do when writing a script for Chris Trevino, who's the head sports guy, or any of the other sports people, you're going to start off and you're going to write in all caps. You can see on our document here. So let's say me and Shane are the two sports hosts here. So Jack, and then let's say there's a highlight reel playing in the background, right? So for that highlight reel, we're gonna point out what happens in that highlight reel, what would be good to say. So we'll say, let's think about it for a second. Last year, Kelly Bryant scrambles for a 42-yard touchdown. So we're gonna put that in all caps, and we're gonna put that 42-yard touchdown, and we're gonna put that in all caps, and we're gonna put that on our document. So now we're gonna expect them to say that during what they're saying while that clip plays. So we want to sort of time it when we're doing this, when we're looking at the clip, to sort of match how long our words are going to be. So as we create the clips, as we create the script, we're going to be talking over the highlight reel that we're putting together. Now, this is specifically for who's doing this at KLMU. We'll be doing a little bit less of this at MUTV, but we're going to start off with this. So then after, let's say that one highlight clip plays, you're going to press enter, and you're going to put a line across, just so whoever's reading it knows that the next clip is going to appear on the screen. So you're just going to put a line across, and then the next clip will play. Shane will go, and let's say it's a basketball clip, and he will say, Tillman dunks it over the Kentucky player. Then Shane will go from there, saying what he needs to say, and hopefully it'll time up with the clip, and then we'll do the same thing with the highlight and the live. Shane, does that sound right to you?
Yeah, and again, this is more for KOMU style. When it comes to MUTV, what you guys will be doing for us next year, similar to this, we didn't really have many highlight clips to play over last year, but we plan to incorporate more of those this year with the shows that we're doing. But again, what you want to do, you don't always have to stick to the script, and this is where I'll give my little side piece here from what Jack is going to do. Last year, not the best idea, but I didn't always have the most complete script done. But that's more just my style of how I like to do it. I don't totally like to follow a script and have set things to say. I kind of like to come up with stuff off the top of my head and just be able to have conversations with people on air. So you definitely need some type of layout of what you want to say and what needs to be said, just so everyone maybe behind the camera knows who's working the teleprompter, when to move it for you. People, for later on when you're doing the highlight clips that you're going to add into it. But just make sure that, you're not just reading off the screen. You can have stuff that you can add in off this on the side.
And exactly, Chris Trevino, who we did the workshop with the other day, that was something he does all the time. He goes off the script, he ad-libs a lot, and it adds to the flow of the show. So if you're just reading off the script at points, that works really well. But there's going to be other points where you need to ad-lib, add some personality to it, to add some spice to it. So that's sort of what happens at KLMU. I'm going to move down to what I do for MUTV 23. It's a little bit different. It's kind of similar to what they do at KLMU, but it's going to be a little bit different. So last year we didn't add in as many highlights. This year we're going to add in some more highlights to our clips during the shows and things like that. But last year we didn't add in highlights. So there was no need for these lines and things like this. So basically what I do is I'd put my name, all caps. I'd bold my name or highlight whoever was speaking. just so it could sort of define that. So let's say me and Shane are doing a show. So I'm going to say Jack, and I'm going to make that, I'm going to highlight my name in yellow, just so I know that that's me speaking. And then Shane's going to be speaking. So I'm going to put Shane, and I'm going to make that all caps. And I'm going to highlight that as well. We'll give Shane, what color do you want?
You just do light blue.
Light blue. Gotcha. And Shane's going to be light blue. So then I'm speaking. So now I know it's me because I can see it on the screen. Important pointer, you're going to want to make sure that your script is a big enough font. So it's at 11 right now. Usually I like to sit in that 16 to 18 range just so you can see it. It's going to be big enough. You're going to want to make sure it's big enough where you can see it on the teleprompter, where it's off the screen and you don't have to squint and look like you're reading it. So another big thing is going to be pronunciations. And this is one that can trip us up. You're going to want to make sure you're spelling things out how they're supposed to be said on camera. So we've got a couple tricky pronunciations at Mizzou. So looking at pronunciation guides, you'll find those media guides online. If you just go to the Mizzou Athletics website, you go to each different sport, you can find the media guide and then the pronunciation guide, and that'll help you sort of figure out the pronunciation. So I'm going to start off with one that can be trickier. Let's start off with Mizzou basketball. So tough pronunciation for Mizzou basketball. So Cuonzo Martin, he's the head basketball coach, but his name is spelled Cuonzo, which a lot of people get confused and pronounce it Cuonzo. So I'm going to put in caps next to it the proper pronunciation in parentheses of his name. So I'm going to put Khan, and I'm going to put that in caps because that's sort of the tricky part because it's pronounced Cuonzo, and this is how it's spelled in the pronunciation guide, and then Z-O, and then that in caps. And then I'm going to say Cuonzo Martin said that, and then I'm put another tricky name, Xavier Pinson. A lot of people see the Xavier and they think it's pronounced Xavier Pinson. So I'm going to put Xavier Pinson's name up here. And then I'm going to put the proper pronunciation again with the tricky part in caps over on the side next to it, just so I know what he's saying. And then so then we sort of have an outline there. I know the proper pronunciations. I'm ready to go with my script. I know what I have to say, how it's supposed to be pronounced on air. And then I'd finish up this statement. Cuonzo Martin said, see, I did it there. Cuonzo Martin said that Xavier Pinson will be a key factor this year. And then I'll leave a little bit of space between me and Shane's, and then Shane will go, and Shane will say,
Take a stab at Albert Oguebanon.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's why I need two of Bible. We had to put in a bunch of pronunciations there last year. And Alberto, obviously. So yeah, there's some tough pronunciations there. So try to make sure you're getting them right, because one of the biggest things that can sort of discredit you really quickly as a broadcaster and as a student media station is if we start pronouncing names wrong, because the diehard fans, they know how the names are supposed to be pronounced, and we don't want to look less knowledgeable than we actually are on the sports just because we're not getting these pronunciations right. So Shane, anything to say on that?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Everything's right there. Again, you don't always have to read word for word what's on the screen. It's better off if you act like you're having a conversation with the person that you're on air with next to you, just to, like Jack said, make it flow better and just make the overall show more enjoyable for the viewer.
Exactly. Another thing I'd like to point out, so we have our teleprompter. There's points for me personally where the teleprompter is really hard to read. I always like to also have a printed script in front of me at all times, no matter what. Technology crashes, paper does not crash. So if I have a printed script in front of me, I know for sure that I'm going to have the words, the information that I need in front of me, where if our teleprompter goes out, if my computer dies or crashes for some reason in front of me, I know for sure if I have a piece of paper in front of me that I have all the info I need to run a proper show. So that's up to you if you want to have a printed script in front of you. I highly suggest it. I think it's a really good tool to have and to keep. So I would suggest that as well. Other than that, I don't have much else to say. Now for MUTV 23, we give a lot more leeway than AOMU would, for example, in terms of teleprompter, script, how we do it. We have a little more flexibility with how we do it. So it's sort of up to you how you want to make your script. If you just want to put bullet points on a teleprompter, you can do that. If you want to do it like I'm doing it here, where you have specific points that each person can say, and it's sort of laid out in order, you can do that as well. You can, Shane, as he said, you can make no script at certain points if you want. If you think you know what you're talking about and you know what you're talking about, I wouldn't suggest that, but it's an option you have to sort of have your point and get your point across. So you have a lot of options what you can do. This is how I do it. This is what's worked for me. Shane has different ways that it works. Everybody has a little bit of a different way, but this is what I would suggest.